My name is Peter Shore, and I would like to welcome you all to the 2022 Attleboro Rotary Club Scholars Luncheon. Thank you all for coming. I would like to ask everybody to please stand for our opening ceremony led by Attleboro Rotary Club President Jeff Nelson.
Peter, thank you. And thank you to all of you for being here today and joining us. I will open the meeting as I do every week at our club meetings. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by God Bless America. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains, through the prairies, through the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. We are thankful for this day that you have given us, for its blessings, its opportunities, its challenges. We are thankful to be joined by community members who inspire a thirst for truth and knowledge, and students who in turn inspire us by what they have accomplished. We pray for strength and guidance for each day as it comes, and for each day's duties, for each day's problems. May we be challenged to give our best always, and may we be assured of your presence with us. Amen. Please be seated.
I'd like to take a moment to recognize the administrators from the three schools here today who managed to take away from their busy schedule to join us. And I ask that you please, I ask them each to stand to be recognized, and to everybody hold their applause until I'm finished with all three schools. And I'm only doing this alphabetical, I'm not playing favorites. From Attleboro High School, David Sawyer, Superintendent, Lori Regan, Assistant Superintendent, and Bill Rooney, Principal. From Bishop Fian, Ann Kennedy, Vice Principal of Academics, and Rhonda Liberty, Director of Guidance. And from Norton High School, Ethan Dollerman, Principal. Thank you all. I'd also like to recognize three very important unsung heroes who are not here, but for whom, without their involvement, this event could not take place. And that would be Nancy Freeman from Attleboro High School, Amy Brady from Bishop Fian, and Melissa Thompson from Norton High School. Just to give you an idea, we stopped planning this about 2.5 months earlier than today's date, because it takes that long to figure out a date that there isn't an AT test at any of the schools, or some other senior event like Bunk Day, Attleboro, that sort of puts a monkey wrench into things. But they really, really are the ones who make this event happen. So in absence, can you give them a round too? Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to, it's a buffet style lunch. I'm going to have tables come up. We're going to start at the back and work our way forward. At this time, I'd like to introduce the Attleboro Club President, Jeff Nelson, for a few words.
All right, Peter, thank you so much. And again, to everybody, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to our annual Scholars Luncheon to celebrate some of the brightest minds of Attleboro, Norton, and Bishop Fian High Schools. Before I get started with some of my remarks, I have to share a funny little story. And some of the Rotarians might be cringing. Dan's shaking his head right now. And so I looked out earlier and I said, oh, what a wonderful audience. And I actually laughed out loud. It reminded me, I have two boys. One's 23 and one's 19. One recently graduated from the College of Charleston, and one is just finished his freshman year at University of Louisville. Both of them went through one of the three high schools represented here today, and they had a tremendous experience. And like any father, I spent most of their childhoods trying to embarrass them in front of their friends and telling, off-the-cuff jokes, and usually very bad jokes, as some of the Rotarians here can appreciate. And they would often say to me, Dad, you need new jokes. And I'm like, no, I just need a new audience. My jokes are great, I just need a new audience. And then I looked out, saw this audience, and said, I could spend 15 minutes here. But I will save you all of that heartache. So again, welcome, thank you for being here. And the rest of today is about you. This program now belongs to our special guests, the 2022 Scholars of Attleboro, Bishop Fien, and Norton High Schools, your graduating classes. You are the brightest minds from your respective schools, and we are here today to celebrate you, so thank you. In a moment, you'll hear from our guest speaker, but for the next couple of minutes, many of you are probably unfamiliar with what Rotary is and exactly what we do. So if you'll indulge me for just a couple of minutes, I'd like to share a little bit about Rotary with you. Rotary was started in 1905. This will help. Rotary was started in 1905 when 4 Chicago businessmen began meeting to discuss what they could do to improve their community. They called their club Rotary because the meetings initially would rotate from one office to another, therefore calling themselves Rotary. They adopted the motto, service above self. By 1912, there were clubs all across the United States, and by 1922, there were over 2,000 clubs on 6 continents with a membership of about 108,000 members. It changed its name to Rotary International, and today there are over 30,000 clubs worldwide, with a membership in excess of 1 million club members. In the 1930s, Rotary adopted the 4-way test. 4 simple questions Rotarians should consider when making decisions, whether as a group or individually. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and friendship? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? Questions that we do live by every day. Rotarians take up challenges no one really thinks are possible to fix. In the 1990s, Rotary International set a goal to eradicate polio. At that time, millions of children in Africa, South America, and Asia contracted this disease annually. It has taken longer than we had initially expected, but we never wavered in our commitment. Last year, there were less than 10 reported cases of polio in the world, and with any luck, this year there will be none. In addition to the polio project, Rotary International has undertaken programs to bring potable water to remote villages where people routinely walk miles to get water every day, and to promote literacy for women and girls in areas which have traditionally limited that opportunity to boys. That sounds a little foreign to us in the United States, but it does exist, and we are working to alleviate that. While Rotary thinks globally, our work is primarily organized locally. Each year, the Rotary Club of Attleboro provides tens of thousands of dollars in grants to approximately 25 community service organizations in the greater Attleboro area. We also collectively devote hundreds and hundreds of hours in community service among our Rotarians. Finally, we host special events, such as today's Scholars Luncheon, to recognize the top 10% of graduates from Bishop Fien High School, Attleboro High School, and Norton High School. We hold this event to recognize not only your achievement, but equally as important, the constant effort you invested to be successful. You are not here today by chance. You did not win a lottery. You didn't show up at the right place at the right time. You are here today because of years of hard work and dedication to your education, which will transfer nicely as you transition into college or possibly a trade. For some of you, this came easy. Congratulations. But for others, and for most, I imagine, it meant sacrifice in other areas. Maybe you missed the Friday night parties or hanging with your friends at the mall. Do kids still hang at the mall? No? All right. I'm old, so. In any event, you're here today, and we wish to celebrate you. So again, congratulations. In recognition of your achievement and effort, each of you is receiving a varsity letter today. Time constraints preclude awarding them to you individually. However, I ask all Rotarians to stand and join me in a round of applause and congratulations. I will be candid. We do have an ulterior motive in having this event because you are our future. I'll say that again. This meeting and this event is very purposeful because we realize you being the brightest students among your classes, our future is brighter because of you, okay? Whenever your career as a student is complete, and you are free of the shackles of after-school activities, studying, test prep, term papers, you're going to have a lot of free time on your hands. We sincerely hope that you devote a portion of this time to volunteering in your community. Ideally, join your local Rotary Club. It may not be today or tomorrow, but we hope you will remember us when you settle down, have your families and careers, and are at a point when you start to look back at giving to the community that hopefully played a small role in making you the young adults that you are today. Okay? Millennials have made a far stronger commitment to volunteerism than those who came before you, and not just because it's now required in order to graduate high school. I do not think I'd be going out on a limb if I stated that each of you probably performed far more hours and a far greater number of hours than were required by your respective schools. I am also going to guess that each of you has learned something that you did not expect from that volunteerism. That you got far more out of it than you ever put into it. This is something that we as Rotarians experience almost every day. Again, service above self. We take great pride in doing things for other people, and it does give you that sense of accomplishment. Altruism has its own benefits, and the feeling you experienced when you made someone's life better or made your community better is not one that can be experienced in any other manner. The good news is that it is one that you can experience over and over again throughout your lives. Again, congratulations on what you have accomplished in high school, and we cannot wait to see what comes next for you.
It's now my distinct pleasure to introduce our speaker for today. And again, this is not playing favorites. The club got desperate because it was either going to be me or this gentleman. This is a gentleman who has been involved in education at multiple schools in the Attleboro area for the last 20 years. I got his LinkedIn thing, so I'll just give you a couple of things. He was a student at Bishop Feehan High School from 1980 to 84. I didn't know that. He went to Clemson University, where he got a Bachelor of Science in Secondary Education and Teaching, and then got a master's degree at the Citadel. He began teaching in 1988 and eventually became the principal of Bishop Feehan High School in 2006, a position he held for 6 years before segueing over to his current position at Attleboro High School. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Principal Bill Rooney.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me okay?
You may want to hold it for you.
All right. You gonna come turn my pages?
That's right.
Don't have a teleprompter?
Double ACS is here, but they didn't provide me with the teleprompter this time. I appreciate the introduction. I do want to clarify that I did not graduate from Bishop Feehan High School, although it is a fantastic school, and I feel like I did graduate to some extent after spending 6 years there, but it's actually Bishop England High School down in Charleston, South Carolina. So Mr. Shore told me, well, after he gave me the distinct honor of letting you all know that I was a last resort, I asked him, I said, how much time do I have? How much time do I have to fill? He said around 20 minutes. So hang on one second. All right, we'll cut this thing in half, okay? So I'm very proud to stand before you today to celebrate these outstanding students from 3 stellar schools. I'd like to thank the Rotary Club for inviting me to speak today. I've been coming to Rotary since 2006. Chris Servant and I worked together at FIAN in 2006, and Chris brought me here, actually to Highland Country Club, for my first Rotary meeting, and I've been working with Rotary in various capacities for the last 16 years, and have made some very good friends. Jeff, who's the president of Rotary, is someone that is a close personal friend of mine. But I look around the room, Mark Cuddy was one of the people that helped hire me at Bishop Feian High School back in 2006. Again, Chris Servant, who I had a wonderful working relationship with, Miss La Liberty, Jim Jones, and not to mention the folks that I am blessed to work with at Attleboro High School. So it is truly an honor to be here, even though I was kind of the bottom of the barrel, so to speak. I do want to take the time to acknowledge the administrative teams and the educators because they have prepared these students so well. And to be quite honest, being in education these days is not easy. And I am grateful to be your colleague, whether you are wearing purple or whether you're wearing blue or whether you're wearing green and gold today. I started my educational career as a math teacher, but I do love to write. And although I don't read anywhere near as much as I should, I do appreciate good writing. Some of my favorite writers are the ones who celebrate tradition and share commonalities, such as a reverence for solitude and for silence. You're students that are graduating during a very tumultuous time. You're entering a world that is really noisy. I'm sure other generations faced dire circumstances as well as world wars, recessions, but I'm not sure that any graduates at any other time had to prepare for a global pandemic coupled with the quantity of noise that you experience on a daily basis. Alerts, notifications, pings, clickbait, half-truths, gossip, fear-mongering, and fake news. It is sad to see the erosion of social justice, kindness, and civility in our society. Not only is it exhausting, it's quite disheartening. I'm sure that you've spent many moments recently reflecting on the time, energy, and work that it was necessary to reach graduation. Those essays, the college applications, the tests, and so much more. And yet, despite the hardships, the long nights of studying, and the various personal challenges that you've overcome, the joy with which you've embraced your final days of high school has been special. And you've endured so much through this pandemic. You've missed social events, you've had learning challenges based on taking classes virtually, not to mention the sheer stress and strain that some of your families have withstood financially and emotionally. Yet, as seniors, you have continued to let your light shine. The faculty and staff at your schools are delighted beyond your understanding. In the weeks that lead up to graduation, you appear to be grateful, peaceful, and wise. I encourage you to continue to strive to live a life of passion, joy, and service with an openness to always trying to grow. That way, you will walk with love for what you do and reverence for why you do it. But I also know that there are many fears as you stare down this significant threshold on your way to adulthood. In thinking how I wanted to address that, I'm reminded of an expression by a prominent newspaper editor, Hodding Carter. He said, "There are only 2 lasting bequests that we can hope to give our children. One is roots, and the other is wings." Roots are obviously where you came from. They're your foundation under the surface, and in this context, your roots are the things that have enabled you to grow towards today. This starts with your families who have loved and supported you. It also includes your teachers, coaches, and other staff members who have guided your academic and emotional development. And let's not forget your friends, with whom you've created so many memories. Memories that have defined your childhood and shaped your personality. Your roots include your extended family here in Attleboro and in Norton, folks that have stood beside you as you mark this special occasion. Your years in high school are a big part of that system of roots. And this past year, we've finally been able to return to celebrations and moments of great joy. However, we are mindful and reflective of the sorrow that we've experienced. Just 26 months ago, your class and others faced incredible sadness in the onset of the coronavirus pandemic. This tragedy serves not only as a reminder of the fleeting nature of this life, but also the importance of community and the need for strong relationships with each other above all else. And what I like about this notion of roots and wings is that by definition, both stay with you and are a part of your journey going forward. I ask you to consider this perspective. As you're leaving high school, it may be tempting to think about looking in the rearview mirror as you journey towards your futures. A rearview mirror suggests not only is something behind you, but it is getting smaller as it gets further and further away each moment. If you look at your life through the point of view of a rearview mirror as you move on to your next destination, you're assuming that the life that you've lived for these past 18 years is only a part of your former life, something no longer relevant to who you are or who you're becoming. And yet, if you remove the word rearview and focus simply on the word mirror, it is an entirely different perspective. With a mirror, you see who you are, deep within. You don't see the noise, you don't see the distractions or the confusion of the outside world, you see yourself. And in yourself, you will see an amazing foundation from your family, your district, and your high school. The very roots of personal responsibility, respect, individuality, determination, and excellence. And for my Attleboro peeps, that's a Pride 5 reference there. You're graduating from some of the most rigorous high schools in the Commonwealth that have challenged and supported you to seek knowledge and truth, respect the dignity of each person, and contribute to society through leadership and service, just like the Rotary Club. Your years have made you intellectually competent and curious, loving and open, and they have furthered your relationship with your friends and family. So do not be consumed with your fears of failure. Your roots are strong, firmly in place to grow in courage and in confidence. Speaking of failure, it is inevitable. We all fail. And what I encourage you to do is to find your resilience. Seeing how education has changed in my 34-year career has been exhilarating in many respects. However, I have seen a trend that I hope changes soon. Many students today are too quick to let constructive criticism consume them. If someone has the courage to civilly present feedback to you, it shows A, that they care about you, and B, they feel that you can handle it. I'm a firm believer in the concept of culture building, where you promote good vibes, critical thinking, and virtuous behavior because they are contagious and they can lead to some pretty awesome progress. And if you look at what has taken place in the city of Attleboro, you can see the power of positivity. We have to strive for progress in such a way that acknowledges that people can change things. But this mindset only works if you're willing to take risks and grow from your failures. I challenge you to not only continue your journey of positive change, but also to be a catalyst for others to grow with you. Remember that any stumbling block or setback is an opportunity to improve. With your foundation, there is no such thing as truly being a failure. You will either succeed or you will grow from that experience. The other gift that parents and educators try to instill is the idea of giving you wings. Just as important as the roots you've acquired are the wings you must now spread. Your futures are awesomely bright, with many wonderful things lying before you. Unforgettable trips, incredible joys, lasting relationships you'll create beyond high school, and intense love that will fill your heart. And while much of this might seem unreal right now, you should go forth into the world knowing that your wings will ultimately take you places far beyond what you can ever imagine after graduation. The path that you're going to embark on in the coming weeks holds infinite promise. You will use these gifts and talents to help influence our world as teachers, doctors, lawyers, artists, parents, businessmen, and women. I am confident that your families, teachers, and all those who have prepared you for these successes have given you the skills to separate that noise from what is good and true. There's no doubt you'll continue to encounter difficulties, and it may seem at times that there is no solution to some of life's problems. But there is a difference between not having a solution and not having hope. There is always hope for you because the foundation of your family and your 3 fine schools will serve you as your guide. In just a matter of days, it is unlikely that your entire class will ever be together in one place again. However, it is my prayer that with the influence and the sense of pride, tradition, and responsibility instilled in you from your respective institutions, you will all still remain together as you bring your gifts beyond high school, all for the world's greater good. So to you, class of 2022, on behalf of your community and your parents and supporters, we extend our gratitude for making sense of our past, bringing peace for today, and creating hope for tomorrow. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you. I didn't mean to imply that Bill was desperate. I meant to say, I was merely saying that my club didn't want me to speak. Anyway, we have a couple housekeeping items. First, logistically, they're clearing the tables and bringing out dessert. I think you guys would all get special dispensation, and no one's going to end up in detention if you show up back a few minutes late. Please stay and have some dessert before you leave. Secondly, if at your table there was a student from your school who was unable to make it, could one of you please bring the placemat and his letter, his or her name tag and letter back to school so that that student can get their recognition. Finally, a mea culpa. I normally ask the guidance counselors, secretary of the departments to let us know if there are any special dietary needs, and I forgot to do that this year, so I sincerely apologize for anybody who couldn't eat the meal because of dietary restrictions. I'm very, very sorry. I've got a child who has those very issues. For once, I get to have the last word once a year. Mr. Rooney spoke about Roots and Wings, and I'd just like to leave you with this thought. It's a song, but I'm not singing it, but you'll probably know the lyrics. May you be blessed and kept always well. May your wishes always come true. May you always do for others and let others do for you. May you build a ladder to the stars and climb on every rung. May you stay forever young. May you grow up to be righteous. May you grow up to be true. May you always know the truth and see the light surrounding you. May you always be courageous, stand upright and be strong. May you stay forever young. May your hands always be busy. May your feet always be swift. May you have a strong foundation when the winds of changes shift. May your heart always be joyful, may your song always be sung, and may you stay forever young. And I'll leave you with not a Rotarian thing, but just my own personal way of looking at the world. There are no problems in this world. There are just opportunities. Some opportunities are just more challenging than others. So go forth and make the world a better place. Thank you very much, and good luck.